today. Thank you. Yeah, starting a new business or growing a business can be overwhelming, and you might feel stuck. You are wearing many hats running a business. You're offering a great product or service and trying to find clients. So, where to get started? Do I need a website, you may ask? How often do I have to post on social media? So in this two-part marketing series, you learn about the basics of marketing, how to create a simple marketing plan, and use low-cost resources for small business owners. There will be a Q&A at the end of each session, and you can ask all the questions that you are afraid to ask. So today we have the Marketing 101, and in 2 weeks, on May 30th, we have part 2, marketing channels, and you can sign up for part 2 on the MCS website. So yeah, we're here today to learn and discuss ways to create a marketing plan for a small business. But I kind of like to start off introducing myself and sharing my story as a small business owner. I was born and raised in Germany. My parents were entrepreneurs, and they are retired now. And I used to work part-time in the organization as a teenager, but that wasn't for me. And I didn't become an entrepreneur myself until I was 40. So it's never too late. I received a degree in hospitality management, and later in my career, I studied event management and marketing while working for different organizations. In my early 30s, I got hired by an organization located in San Luis Obispo and was moved here to the States in 2013 with a work visa. As their global sales and marketing director, I overlooked the sales and marketing teams, planned international trade shows, and product launches. I frequently traveled between Asia, Europe, and the United States. Yeah, then my daughter was born 40 years later, and I decided to leave the corporate world and be a homestay mom. But I'm really passionate about what I do, and I needed income. So when my daughter was about 18 months at home, she started daycare, and I started to look into work opportunities. With almost 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, and business development, I realized I was now able to support other small business owners. I started as a virtual assistant. Working remotely with a flexible schedule allowed me to follow my passion and still be present for my daughter, which is and was very important to me being a single parent and provider. A flexible schedule sounds great on one hand, but there were and still are many late nights and weekends, which is part of entrepreneur's life, right? So yeah, 6 years ago, I embarked on my journey as a virtual assistant and online business manager. And since then, I have cultivated strong partnerships with my clients, evolving from a mere service provider to an integral component of their operations. Through refining processes and enhancing efficiency, I played a pivotal role in optimizing their day-to-day workflow. I seized the opportunity to join the Women Business Center in 2018, and over the years, I have worked with several local entrepreneurs, supporting them with starting a business, creating a sales and marketing strategy, budgeting, and just staying focused on their goals. Fascinated by the concept of multiple streams of income, I started my other business, Scoop the Magic, in 2019 and became a small business owner. I love creating food and sharing it. And with Scoop the Magic, I was able to start and build a product-based business on my own. Initially, I started my venture by selling at various farmers markets across the country, across the county. The consistent encouragement and positive feedback from my customers served as a driving force to persevere. Repeatedly hearing expressions of gratitude such as, "Thank you for doing this," reinforced my commitment. It was when I began receiving glowing 5-star reviews from strangers that I realized the genuine appreciation for my product. I started approaching local grocery stores and built a local network of vendors over the past 5 years, Every time I landed a new client and dropped off my first delivery, I was terrified if they would sell. But each store sold out in the first couple of weeks, and I realized I created something unique. The journey wasn't without its challenges. I encountered numerous hurdles and faced moments where giving up seemed tempting. As a solopreneur, I wear many hats. I craft the ice cream, I designed the packaging, I handle the deliveries, all while balancing the responsibilities of being a mom. However, amidst the struggles, the unwavering support of my customers serves as my driving force. I'm fueled by the beliefs in the uniqueness of my product and the encouragement of those who appreciate it. So I'm sharing my story and my journey with you because I understand firsthand the challenges of entrepreneurship. It demands grit and perseverance. Yet, despite the difficulties, I wouldn't trade this path for anything. Every obstacle has been a lesson, and I've grown immensely through the process. Having navigated both the corporate world and the realm of small business ownership, I understand your struggles. Now, drawing from my diverse experience, I'm passionate about assisting others in determining what truly matters for them in their business. I know how overwhelming starting and running a business can be, but I genuinely relish the opportunity to guide and support my clients through every step of the journey. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about marketing. And so I get a little break from talking here right at the beginning, wondering if there's any specific questions you have, maybe share why you're here today. I would also like to hear your business name if you want to share how long you've been in business. So I get a little break and we have like a little interaction for once. If you want to share, if you have any, what your outcome expectations were, you're open to share that in the chat now.
I just also wanted to make mention that you guys can feel free to unmute your mics too if you would like. There's a comment in the chat box, Uli, from Melissa. She says, I'm looking for low-cost ideas for marketing my new business.
Great, yeah. We're definitely gonna talk about this a little bit and also a lot more next in the next part about low-cost ideas. Thank you. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing. So not all marketing techniques rely on a big budget or specialized skill sets or many resources. There are techniques and tactics that will drive impressive growth without requiring deep pockets or a big team. And as a small business owner, you most likely don't have a big budget nor a team. So let me ask this, what does it mean to be a small business? So we toss the term small business around to mean everything from the coffee shop next door to a company that has 200 employees. You see, each country defines small business differently. In the European Union, it's less than 50 employees, but in the United States, it's generally less than 500 employees. Interesting though, the United States Small Business Administration even has an entire chart dedicated to determining, based on your classification, whether or not you qualify as a small business. And these definitions are created to determine if a company qualifies for certain government benefits or is obligated to follow certain regulations. And I don't intend to debate the literal definition. So first, we need to establish goals. You likely have a vision of what you need your marketing to accomplish. And it might be to increase traffic to your website, to sell more, or you want to receive more phone calls. Another could be that you want to have more customers walk through your door. And these are all examples of common marketing goals, but as is, they're useless. Your goals need objectives. You see, goals are just a general idea of what you want to accomplish. Objectives are how you make it happen and how you determine if you succeeded. Goals without objectives are useless. And one of the most common mistakes in small business marketing is not setting goals. You can simply point yourself in a direction and march forward. You need a plan. Many small businesses approach marketing and wind up with decision paralysis. There's just so much you can do. It's so hard to know what you should do, let alone where you should start. How to approach marketing. Before you step into attracting customers, what do we need to have in place? We first need to look at the business. What is an important first step of developing a marketing strategy? Have a clear value proposition. But what is a value proposition? It is a short, distinct statement about how your business is different from every other company that says they do the same thing. The USP communicates the value of your product or service to customers and why they should purchase the said item. During a previous workshop, I got asked, what is the difference between the value proposition and a mission statement? So I thought I'm going to talk on this quickly. So while a value proposition shows why it is unique and the best among the competitors, the mission statement defines a company's value, culture, ethics, and agenda. A mission statement is a phrase that explains the purpose for being in concise and simple terms. Okay, now that we're talking about the mission of a company, what's a vision statement, you may ask? Your vision statement gives your company direction. It is the future of the business, which then provides the purpose. The vision statement is about what you want to become. It's aspirational. So vision statement questions look like, what are our hopes and dreams? What problems do I solve with the greater good, for the greater good? And who and what am I inspiring to change? So as an example, let's take IKEA. Their mission is to offer a wide range of well-designed functional home furnishing products at a price so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them. The vision is to create a better everyday life for the many people. And why does it work? The mission here focuses on the functionality of IKEA's products and the affordability for their customers. In the vision, the IKEA team has a true sense of purpose in creating a better everyday life. So coming back to the value proposition. The value proposition shows why what you offer is unique and the best among the competitors. So ask yourself, what makes your business attractive? What makes you unique? What problem do you solve? It should be something that can live as a headline with a supporting sentence or a few bullet points. It should be front and center in your messaging and be the foundation by which you build all of your marketing around. It must be simple, clear, and easy to understand in 5 seconds. How does the brand aim to solve the problem? And then who we're selling to? And this is known as your target market. You want to understand who they are, what motivates them, because your target market is not everyone. It is a specific group of people that you believe will resonate best with your marketing message. It is much easier to tailor your messaging and your marketing when you know who you're talking to. And why should a customer get the problem solved by your products and service? And we also need to know what our competition is up to. It's difficult to decide how and where to market if you don't know where your competition shows up and are they chasing the same market segment? If they're reaching a different group, then you've considered what messaging are they using and how they frame their value proposition. By understanding the landscape that you're marketing in, you'll be faster on your feet with ideas on how to stand out from the crowd. Now, it's by no means going to be easy or quick, or are the results going to be instantaneous? But if you apply yourself and work through concepts, it'll start to click. Things will fall in place and you'll be moving your marketing efforts forward piece by piece until you pick up momentum. And it's definitely no secret that the success of a business depends on having customers. And in order to have customers, you need to find them. And in order to find them, you have to message them. And to message them, we'll have to know them. And so if you're marketing without really knowing your customer, we should better stop. The process of finding and knowing your customer is accomplished through customer segmentation. Customer segmentation is taking your broad market and breaking it down into smaller groups of people that have a lot in common. When you have a focused customer segment, you save money because your marketing is more effective. To start segmenting, you need to define your ideal customer. You take the broad market and divide it into segments organized by multiple attributes. And these attributes combine demographics, psychographics, behaviors, and needs. So demographics factors in age, gender, marital status, income, and education level. And this is the broadest targeting. You might target, say, 24 to 45-year-olds who make less than $50,000 annually and are single. But this isn't quite specific enough of a segment. If we put that audience in the room, how similar would they really be? Would they all love sports? Or no, probably not. So you need to layer. And one approach to layering is by looking at psychographics. And this classifies a group of people according to opinions, beliefs, values, attitudes, and interests. So we might create a customer segment based on initial demographics and then add in that is audience values environmentally conscious companies and like reading books. Members of that audience will have a lot more in common with one another. You can also use relevant behavioral attributes to describe your target customer. So here you might identify customer based on an action they take or how frequently they take it. This could be people who get a to-go coffee every day, or those who spend 2 hours on Instagram every day. Another market segmentation technique is needs-based segmentation, which with this approach, you divide the market into customer segments that each have distinct needs. If I use my business as an example, one segment is following a 100% plant-based diet. Others are lactose intolerant, or they want to just find a healthy alternative to traditional ice cream. There's also another group. It might be a clean treat for your children. Same product, but with consumers that will all receive different messaging based on their needs. Now you want to identify segments that you feel have a high likelihood of needing or wanting what you're selling. Once you have your segments, you'll be able to build campaigns that speak directly to that customer. To succeed at marketing small, have specific segments. Excuse me. You can always add more as you find success. So once you know the audience you're talking to, you can create powerful and personalized messaging. Your messaging is how a consumer will come to interact with your product or service and to decide if it's right for them. And this message is present in every touch point, from the very first visit to your website, the interaction on an advertisement, all the way through the decision to purchase. To persuade a customer to buy, you must communicate your value effectively, and you do this through strategic messaging. One of the main attributes of strategic messaging is consistency. And the best messaging is always simple and consistent. When it comes time for creating the messaging, tell a good, convincing story. Storytelling captures people's attention and motivates them to take action. To be convincing, make sure you come across as trustworthy, confident, empathetic, and composed. And 2, appeal to emotion. People buy on emotion and then justify it with facts. Remember to focus on outcomes that are inspirational, aspirational, or would represent a significant milestone for a person or company. And 3, be clear. Avoid fancy words and use more conventional language. Also, be obvious. Don't assume that your audience understands terms that you use in your communication. Use obvious words or define ones that aren't so obvious. Be sure that your message contains a flavor of your value proposition and use the same tone and theme across all of your marketing platforms. Understand your audience, tell a great story, and be authentic. Marketing isn't just about the messaging, it's about the entire journey. It's about how consumers feel while they're engaging with your product or service, how convincing your solutions to their problem is, how pleasant you make the experience, and so on. You want a marketing strategy that encompasses every touch point. Marketing is by no means quick or easy, and the results aren't going to be instant. But if you apply yourself and work through evolving your strategy and revisiting it often, it'll start to click. So as your marketing plan develops, you'll need a place to store all the information you're capturing. It needs to be easy to update. It's a process. So I'm asking Gabrielle to share a document in the chat that you can click on and you can download, and it's a template. It's a very simple one-page template to help with an exercise we're going to do in a minute. This is meant to put your problems front and center so you can generate effective ideas. So here's how it's going to look like. I'm going to walk through it first. So you have a series of boxes that you'll fill out, and it's divided up so that the left side of the page is all about your product or service. And then the right side is all about the market. So we can walk through these fields together. So in the problem box, you're going to list 1 to 3 high priority problems that your customers have. So for I just made a little sample with my business. The problems my customers have is 1, they're following a plant-based diet. So their problem is they can't eat traditional ice cream. Or another one could be they're lactose intolerant. They can't eat traditional ice cream. Or they just don't find dairy-free ice cream that tastes good. That's a very difficult problem to have. So as an example for you. And then in the customer box, list who you are targeting. From here, the solution box is where you list 1 to 3 ways that your product or service solves the consumer's problems. In the middle, we have our unique value proposition. And this is right where it lives, both between your product, service, and the market. So, and next we need to outline the revenue stream. How are you going to make money? What's the lifetime value of your customer? What's the gross margin on whatever it is you're selling? And now go to your cost structure. And this is where you list operational cost for making the business get all the way to market. It includes, for instance, your business insurance, your website cost, rent. So next up, measure and monitor the performance. List what activities you'll be measuring that are going to demonstrate that you're successful in your marketing efforts. And then the box advantage. What do you do so insanely well that nobody can copy you, or that puts you way ahead of the competition? So to make this exercise again, you receive the recording, you have the printout in the chat, so that's something you can do after. If you ever have any questions about this, you're happy to reach out to me. I will share my contact information at the end, and we can work on this also individually. So I forgot something, right? Yeah, I forgot the channels box. Well, we haven't talked about marketing channels, which is the topic for the next part of the series. Marketing channels are your path to the customer, and it's how you'll communicate the existence of what you're selling and pick the channels that your customer segments are spending the most time with. There are so many marketing channels to choose from. It can be overwhelming. Where to start and how to narrow down the list between email, print, online ads, social media, just to name a handful. Your options are nearly infinite. Marketing channels are how you distribute your message. Your goal, especially in small business marketing, it's identifying which marketing channels should belong on your list and which ones you just eliminate. So decide which channels are worth your time. Start by asking yourself this question. What do you want your marketing effort to accomplish? If you want to develop brand awareness, use mass media channels. If you want a specific action to happen with a targeted set of prospective customers, then go with the personalized approach. If you're just getting started with marketing, I'm going to encourage you to invest in personalized marketing first. You must find more immediate success in sticking with the personalized approach for now. Now, after you identify what you want to accomplish, ask yourself, where does your target market turn for information? From here, identify what information you need to convey and how quickly you need to convey it. If you have a weekly special that you're promoting, you don't want to advertise in a monthly magazine. If you want to show your product in action, then you might want to turn to YouTube. From there, you need to figure out where you're going to start, and to do that, I like to evaluate each idea based on the effort required to build out the channel and the value in doing so. So in 2 weeks, on the 30th, we will dive deeper into marketing channels and what resources and tools are available at no or low cost. And most importantly, how you define what channels are really necessary and effective for your business. And here's some homework if you want to come prepared. Make a list of all the marketing channels you can think of. Brain dumping helps you to get out of your head and put it on a piece of paper or in your phone or on your computer. So I realized that I'm pretty good on time today, Gabrielle. I'm pretty much through my presentation. So
Are
if
you really,
anybody has
Uli?
questions,
Look at you.
I know, right? Was I too fast? I hope I didn't go too fast. If you guys have any questions, there's time now.
Okay, let's see. Well, Trisha put a comment in the chat box. She says, I feel I've tried every marketing tactic over 11 hours. I'm frustrated.
I'll hear you.
11 years, sorry.
Oh, 11 years, because it did say 11 hours. I'm like, wow,
Sorry.
you spent a whole
I
lot
was
of
having
time.
trouble typing here.
What's your business?
I am a Reiki master and numerologist.
Uh-huh. Okay, can you tell me a little more?
I do numerology readings and Reiki healings for people that have chronic health issues, or if they're trying to start a fitness program and they're unable to stay on it, I can look at their numerology and figure out what their tripping points are and kind of coach them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a book related to that, numerology and fitness.
Okay. And what is your struggle?
Well, I've been advertising myself on social media videos. I have a website. I've done the free workshops and the giveaways, and I've been doing that for like 11 years. And it's, like I have strong like months and then it peters out and then, so I feel like I've tried everything. And so is it time to throw in the towel, or is it, try it with a different approach? Or
Yeah.
it's like, I'm sorry, it's like level 3 confusion for me right now, because I've done the business coaching and then done a program, and then it doesn't seem to work. But I'm not ready to give up, because then that's failure, right? If I quit. So, and it's not like I don't have clients. I just don't to the point where,
Yeah, I wouldn't call it failure. It's like all the lessons we learned. I mean, at some point, the thing is also your business has to be profitable. Otherwise,
yes, right. Yes.
And I mean, also, I'm not blaming you if you take a year pause. I did that before. Like, I was like, literally, I can't anymore. I need to take a break. That's kind of happening with all humans.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just not one way with marketing, unfortunately, and there's also no,
Right.
like, oh, this will work for sure. We don't, unfortunately, know that.
Because
So,
I have another business that is successful. I just don't want to add to it. And it was all word of mouth. And so then that stymies me, right?
yeah.
Like, I didn't even do any marketing and it's fine. And then this other business, I like feel like I break my neck trying to market myself. And
Yeah. Well, I guess there's almost your answer where you should focus on more. Because
I could do the other thing, but I want to do the numerology and the Reiki.
yeah, I totally hear you with that. Like it's a little similar to my Scoop the Magic business, which is not very profitable. I don't know how much my customer love it, so I'm just doing it very small, but it doesn't pay my rent. So
Right.
yeah. But I mean, it sounds like you had used resources from the Women Business Center before. I don't know.
No, I've tried other,
Okay.
this is my first time working with them.
Oh yeah, awesome. Well, we have amazing consultants that do like one-on-one sessions. I'm sure Gabrielle can connect you with either me or somebody else.
I am connecting with someone.
Okay, perfect.
So some of this homework that you offered us, I have done it for my coach, but I just want to keep my mind on it, and keep focused on it. So I thought I would take this workshop.
Yeah, and then the second part and on the 30th, we're really talking about each channel and what it does and and then we kind of like scale, huh, is this like, there's so many channels and we don't need to use them all, but which one really would apply for my business? So that might be good for you to join if you have time.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you.
sharing.
If anyone has any additional questions, please feel free to unmute your mic. I see you just did, Melissa. Do you have a question?
I was wondering if you could elaborate just a little bit more. You were talking about the marketing channels, and you asked the question, what do you want to accomplish through the marketing? And you had mentioned things like increased traffic to your website. I'm a speech pathologist and I'm wanting more patients.
Mhm.
Are you recommending like sub goals that aren't necessarily like signing on? Do you mind just kind of elaborating on that, or like sub goals or the main goal?
So your goal is, I mean, yeah, everybody is wants that has a goal in making sales. So for you is finding clients. So how do we find clients? Do they look for websites? So is like how do you reach them? Like, do they find all the information on your website? Would you communicate them through social media? So like that would be the question. Where do we find your client? Is it through a recommendation, or I don't know, like what's it called? Like a directory of providers. Does that, or can you, does that answer your question, or?
Yeah, so I think that the creating very specific marketing plans to reach the desired clientele, that definitely makes sense.
So are
I
you
guess
working with children?
no.
Speech? Okay, with
Um,
adults.
yeah, adult and geriatric population. So I'm very clear on who I want to serve.
Okay.
But I was wondering, do we want to set like sub goals for I want to receive this many calls by new clients in this amount of time? Is that what you're recommending?
I mean, it depends on the goals, but in terms of like weekly management, I always recommend having weekly goals and say, I do maybe 10 sales calls this week, or I reach out to 10 providers to introduce my business. So that's is more like broken down on like in terms of your time management, like how do I get my goal implemented into my day-to-day business? Does make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.